Coming up on the season premiere at BreezeTV.
Volleyball sets up their season at the JMU Invitational.
And a proposed plan to relieve student loan debt.
Plus, we get a taste of 2 new dining locations on campus.
All this and more. Stay tuned.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is BreezeTV.
Welcome back to our first show of the semester. I'm Joshua Dixon.
And I'm Maggie Rickerby. Today we are wearing these pins to honor alumna Allison B. Parker.
We'll have more on her and her time here at JMU later.
JMU made the switch to virtual parking passes. Director of Communications, Mary Hope Vass, said all students can now buy a semester pass regardless of study abroad or December graduation. Vass said that the switch allows for quick access to passes, including daily and temporary passes. In an email sent out to students earlier this summer, Parking Services said that your license plate will act as your permit instead of the physical decal.
Students with parking passes are not the only ones struggling with transportation. Last fall, staffing shortages led the Harrisburg Department of Transportation to reduce bus routes. Despite its hope of returning to normal by spring, the problem is still ongoing. This year, the Gray Line will no longer be in service, and 2 lines have been condensed.
Different things to maybe attract people to these positions, let them know that these are good opportunities for part-time work. In the past, we've seen a lot of JMU students be bus drivers. We haven't seen that as much in the past few years, so we're hoping that maybe changes. But we have increased the starting pay for those positions, and we're looking at other incentives to try to get as many people behind buses as possible.
Until staffing improves, students who rely on the Gray Line can transfer buses from City Route 2 to Route 6. The ICS will continue to run every 5 minutes. To locate buses, students can download the new PassIO.go app.
Our reporter, Colby Reese, is live from Volleyball's Invitational. What do you have for us, Colby?
Thanks, Maggie. I'm here at Goblin Hall, where JMU Volleyball is set to begin their season later tonight. That matchup will be against UAlbany at 7 p.m. with 2 additional matchups tomorrow. There's a lot of anticipation around this team after a successful season last year. They'll look to continue to carry that into the Sun Belt as they were voted to tied first in the East Division in the preseason coaches poll. Miette Velman and Sophie Davis will continue to look to lead the team after receiving major accolades last year. Make sure that you stay tuned for my interview with head coach Lauren Steinbrecher later in the show. Back to you all in the studio.
7 years ago today, JMU alumna Allison B. Parker was tragically shot and killed along with her cameraman, Adam Ward, while filming a live shot at Smith Mountain Lake.
Real zest for life.
Her smile.
Serious.
Her kindness.
Tenacious.
Always willing to help.
Professionalism. Expected the best of herself. Goofy.
Integrity.
Funny.
Curiosity.
Great journalist.
We had news story days in class, and every time we had that day, Allison came in with her own story idea, and she had 4 or 5 others that she was ready to share.
She would come in with 1 story for her and 6 stories for other students.
She'd give them tips on who to contact and was telling them, pitching them the story that she then wanted them to tell because she couldn't tell all the stories.
She just was constantly prepared and had a real sense about what news was. My fondest memory of Allison is when she was in my 409 TV news producing class. She really wanted to do a live shot.
And Allison was busy scurrying around. Suddenly she realizes that there is a huge JMU truck unloading some chairs. The shot itself was going to be ruined. She ran across the quad and persuaded them in a very gently but firm manner to move the truck, gather the chairs, put them up. She made it back, and she did this all within a matter of a very short period of time in order to meet the broadcast time schedule.
First time doing a live shot like that, she crushed it. And it was an amazing moment for me because that was the time when I thought, this kid has it. She's going to do great in broadcast journalism.
The first time I met Allison Parker was actually at Rutgers. I was still working there after it had been announced that I was the incoming president of James Madison University.
They got up there, and the hotel that they were going to be staying at was like in this seedy part of town. We started looking online, where can we have them move? Maybe 10-15 minutes later, we get a call. Allison's taking care of it. She's got a new place. Don't worry about it. She was going to take the bull by the horns, and she was going to get it done. I mean, she's just tenacious.
What impressed me at that point was that she understood that we were real people, not just titles. Her professionalism, the care with which she approached her job and her responsibilities, it gave me a lot of hope and excitement about the kinds of students I would encounter at JMU.
I later found out, I think she somehow got them to give them a free room.
She had a passion for everything that she was doing, particularly journalism, and it just really showed in everything that she did.
She was this kind, soft-hearted, sweet person who had this unbelievably bright smile that would light up a room.
You know, you don't want to let that fool you, because she was definitely a hard-nosed journalist.
I would find myself opening up to her in a way I've never opened up to students before.
You knew that she was going places, she was excited and passionate about her work, and I think that passion was infectious. It was a real inspiration to other students. That's the legacy that I hope we can carry forward for many generations to come.
If my daughter can grow up to be the type of person that Allison was, I'll feel like I did my job as a dad. I hope that every day for my kids, if they can be like Allison, I'll know that they'll have done something special with their life.
The fact that we have the Allison Parker Scholarship now means that we can reward, recognize the next Allisons who are going to look at information gathering, journalism, the media, and want it to be responsible, and want it to be accurate and truthful, and want it to be caring and compassionate. And I think that if we are able to identify students who then live that, then Allison's legacy will live on forever.
Parker's parents wanted, quote, her to be remembered by the way she lived and not the way she died. They created 2 scholarships in her honor. One is awarded to an incoming freshman, which they are able to use over their 4 years at JMU. The other is given to a rising senior, and both recipients earned this prestige by following the example of Allison Parker. I am incredibly honored to be the current recipient of the Allison B. Parker Scholarship, and I'm thankful every day for the opportunities it has given me to further my education. Every Friday we go live in the Allison B. Parker studio in honor of her life and the legacy she left at JMU.
At this time, we would like to take a moment to honor the lives of Allison and Adam.
Reporting for JMU Today, I'm Allison Parker.
Bojangles.
is Breeze TV.
Good afternoon, JMU. I'm Regine Aranazari, and this is BreezeTV Politics. This week, President Biden announced he will cancel $10,000 in federal student loans for Americans earning under $125,000 per year. Pell Grant recipients will be eligible for an additional $10,000 in debt relief. Biden will also extend the pause on federal student loan payments one final time through December 31st, 2022. The Department of Education will make relief applications available in the coming weeks. Borrowers can qualify based on their incomes in either the 2020 or 21 tax years. We have JMU Student Body President Shadi Bakhtiari in studio to discuss the implications of this plan. Thank you for joining us. Biden emphasized the importance of student loan forgiveness throughout his campaign. Do you believe he has fulfilled that promise?
Thank you so much for having me, and I think that's a very, very important question. I think that this is definitely a start. I think as educated, informed voters, we have to hold our politicians accountable, and so this is definitely a start on that campaign promise, but we'll have to keep watching to see how it pans out.
And what kind of impact do you believe this will have on students, and is it enough?
Well, what's really interesting about this and what you mentioned earlier is that it's more of an equity-based type of relief where we see it for low to low middle income families, and this is a huge step, I feel like, in the direction of moving towards more college accessibility. And I think as JMU students, we come from a lot of different backgrounds, we come from a lot of different walks of life, so having this at the federal level is something that could definitely impact us, and I think that it's something that we should be thinking about, we should be knowing about, and I think that to answer your question of whether it's enough, it's a start. And I think that you always have to start somewhere, and this is definitely something that we should be keeping an eye on.
And do you think this is a first step into expanding federal student loan relief for more people?
I want to be optimistic and say I hope so. I think since we see this at the more low to middle income level, it's definitely showing progress, seeing as we have the Pell Grant and we also have the median income with that you mentioned earlier. That's something that I think, taking into those qualifications and those considerations, we could definitely see a much more broader expanse of college accessibility and relief forgiveness, for sure.
And do you believe JMU students here, like how many do you believe will be impacted by this plan?
I'm not sure exact numbers, but I am hoping that a good amount of JMU students will be able to take away from this relief plan. I know that we have some Pell Grant recipients, so that's a really good way to start. So I'm hoping that this will definitely be able to impact our student body positively, and hopefully in the future, if it does continue to expand, we can reach even more of the student body.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That's all. And in other news, Harrisonburg City Council reviewed their survey on how locals want to distribute funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. Among the issues discussed, participants wanted to supplement mental health resources and ensure healthcare centers can provide adequate care, as well as expand access to safe and affordable housing. That's all for politics. Maggie and Joshua, back to you.
Coming up on Breeze TV.
How football battles adversity.
And we go live with JMU Volleyball's head coach.
Stay tuned.
Bojangles, Cajun filet biscuit for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
BreezeTV.
Football season is less than 2 weeks away and fall camp is over, leaving some question marks, including a recent COVID-19 spike within the program.
With the band now tuning up for game day and the season just around the corner, it's still unknown on who will be starting under center, which would usually leave many worried.
Really the quarterback is least of my concerns right now.
COVID has managed to find its way into the locker room again, causing many players and even some coaches to miss time.
It's been a juggling act ever since we've been hit with it, and it still is.
One group hit really hard by the virus was the defensive line. However, the men in the trenches continue to push through.
One of our mentalities is next man up, you can't take it, oh, he's down. You can't be like, oh, man, it's, all right, let's buckle up and get to work.
The D-line has even caught the attention of those lining up in front of them.
The ends are doing a really good job this year. I feel like they've really developed. Isaac's a real crafty guy. Kyle, really smart guy. Still young, but he's going to be really good. Avi's really matured this year. I feel like the inside guys just keep working.
So, as the season inches closer,
it's getting real. We're seeing a lot more people on campus, so it's coming.
And the excitement builds, they'll get the chance
I need the juice
to finally display their craft. This is Joshua Dixon reporting from BreezeTV.
Men's soccer was back in action Thursday night, taking on Binghamton in their season opener at Centaura Park. Binghamton drew first blood, taking an early 1-0 lead, but the Dukes evened the score in the closing minutes of the first half, thanks to a goal from Josiah Blanton. JMU kept the momentum rolling into second half and secured a 3-1 victory with goals from Tyler Check and Cameron Arnold to cap off the victory. The Dukes will host NJIT on Sunday before traveling to Charlottesville on Thursday for a showdown with UVA.
We're now heading back out to Godwin Hall. Colby?
Thanks, Joshua. I'm now joined by volleyball head coach Lauren Steinbrecher. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
What am I most looking forward to? Getting to see our team compete and play at a high level and compete for championships.
And how important is a strong start tonight against UAlbany?
Huge. It's our first match of the season, so excited to finally play another team. And I'm sure the first few points there'll be some, jitters and getting used to it, but we certainly want to start strong and hopefully compete at a high level the whole match.
And obviously with a new conference comes new challenges. So what does a successful season look like for your team in the new conference?
That's a good question. We have obviously not played in the conference before, but I certainly think that we can be competitive in it. And so I think the correct answer is a championship, but I will know when we get there.
Thank you so much for joining me, Coach. Their season is set to be a serve. Back to the studio.
We're on last call here at BreezeTV.
And we take a chomp into the new dining options.
And we welcome Dukes back to campus.
Stay tuned.
is BreezeTV.
Two new restaurants are opening up on main campus.
D Hall and Duke's Dining have both gone through some major changes this year. The biggest one being the addition of two new dining locations on main campus, Duke's Scoops and Taco Dillo.
Coming back off of COVID, we wanted to reopen all of the locations the way they should be.
Some restaurants on campus have been shuffled around due to these changes. Duke's Scoops is now open where Java City used to be.
We're also kind of looking a little longer range, and so you may have noticed we've added Java City at D Hall, because at the end of the year, the whole library, Carrier Library, shuts down for almost 3 years, and so we want to be ready for that as well.
Students have expressed their opinions on this change.
I like that they added more food options in Java City.
I'm really excited that they're expanding Java City and I get to get my coffee a lot easier now.
As with any changes, cuts have to be made. Taco Dillo has replaced PC Wings, which has caused some controversy among the JMU population.
Java City, I wasn't a fan, so I'm okay with that, but I did enjoy the wings, so I was a little hurt by that, and they were bone-in, which is not common in a lot of places, so I enjoyed that.
I'm actually really mad that they got rid of that wing place. That place is awesome. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying.
Reporting for BreezeTV, I'm Sam Game.
A good roommate can be hard to come by. JMU's Office of Residential Life tries to ease the pressure of a random roommate search. Alum Connor Mahan took this route and says it was worth the risk. Mahan and his roommate Michael still talk every day, even 10 years later. The pair lived together 3 out of the 4 years on campus. After recalling a disappointing night, Mahan still brought out the light of their relationship.
By the end of the night, we kind of had this sense of wow, it's like us against the world, it seems. And we just found comfort in even though at the time it felt like everyone else wasn't really meeting our standards of what we thought they would do, we had each other.
Students who choose to do random must fill out a lifestyle questionnaire and are matched randomly or picked from an array of students with similar answers. RLL said, it's not the typical definition of random, but it's someone that you didn't know before coming to college. Mahan's advice is to trust the process and to connect before meeting.
JMU's campus is brought back to life again this week as classes begin.
Happy first week of classes, Dukes. I'm here out on the quad to see how you guys are really feeling today.
This is my real first day, I just transferred here, so it's very interesting to see how JMU works. I mean, it's pretty cool. Campus is sweet.
Parking was bad, but everything else is good. I'm so excited for junior year.
I had 2 classes today and they were awesome.
It was pretty cool. I was kind of, I still don't know how the buses work. Someone needs to teach me.
My first day has been really great so far. Wednesdays are actually my most hectic day. I have 4 classes. I kind of like being busy, so I'm liking it so far.
It's very exciting. It's my first class. I just got done with communications. I'm on my way to second class.
It's been really good. I'm super excited to be back. My professors are awesome and beautiful day out. Met some really cool people, so it's been great.
I'm very excited. I actually don't have any classes today. Mabel is very excited to be on the quad, so we've been doing that all day. It's beautiful out.
I'm just excited to experience JMU again.
To finish my undergrad and hopefully start my grad here as well.
Just being able to get back to it and back into being in college and being here. I live with 2 of my best friends. I'm just really excited to spend time with them and that we all kind of have a safe space to kind of just all hang out. Get more into my major. I feel like I'm definitely getting in there more and I'm excited.
When classes start to become stressful, remember to listen to your body and take time for yourself. The support system you have on campus is something you won't see anywhere else. Utilize it while you can. To the class of 2026, have a great first year. And to the class of 2023, you're almost done. You've got this. Reporting for BreezeTV, I'm Zoe Mallory.
Well, Maggie, first show in the books. I think it was pretty good.
I think it went pretty well, and honestly, I'm getting a little hungry. We might have to hit up Taco Dillo.
Maybe a little dessert, a little scoops action.
Scoops
I don't know.
action. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time, same place.
And remember, take care of fellow Dukes.